Last minute winner. We're still talking about it, still smiling. And I've got my brother Wilf here with me. This one is the Arsenal show, as per usual, people. The season, the Emirates became a home. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the win, the victory. Arsenal still maintaining their 5 point gap and plenty more. And it's your opportunity, Arsenal fans or non Arsenal fans, to talk football with us. So, people, let's get into it. Wagwan, everyone. I hope you're doing well, because I certainly am. And I know my co-host on the Arsenal show is too. My brother Wilf. I hope you're doing good, people. I hope you had a good weekend, and I hope you had a good start to the week as well. We're here on Monday here in the UK, Monday evening. But before we go into each and every one of you, my brother Wilf, how are you, man? How are you feeling today?
I'm not bad, I'm not bad. For some reason, this weekend sweet me. I can't tell you how much it's sweet. I still can't quite put my finger on it. But I probably there's Saturday was a really glorious day. The sun was shining wherever I was, you know what I mean? Regardless of what the weather was there, the sun was shining. I was about 5 o'clock or was it 7 minutes past five, however much it went over. I was giggling my little butt off. And then Sunday, for some reason, it was like seven wonders of the world. And that just made me even more happy. And I'm just fine, man. I'm loving life. Life is good.
Tell me about it. Life is good at the moment, and we'll get into it, people. But before we do, I want to big up each and every one of you in the chat who's watching live right now. Big up my bro Ed in the place. Huge win. What a weekend. Exactly. Massive weekend for you. And thanks for doing us a favor by beating those lot as well. Appreciate it, my bro. Let me ask a question. What do we think of Tottenham? Keep it PG. You know the recipe. Poo, exactly. Your Brad says trash. And asking the question, when's it starting? And then Ed says it's always a lottery with tea, especially if Wilf or King or other panel members on tonight. Guys, I've told you this before. I have to start late anyway because of YouTube notifications. And two, we are what we're wearing.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course. Nah, big up each and every one of you. Lots of the place. Big up my bro Pax as well. He says he would be weird if he was on time. Good evening to yourself as well, Luke. Hope you're keeping good, my brother. T's late. The chances he's on time is like Arsenal getting relegated, says your friend. Hey. About a year and a bit ago, I mean, the chances were definitely far, but a lot of people were bantering us about that. So yeah, how things can change in a year's time. I think T has only been live on time once that I've seen since that cursed FIFA stream where I doubted Ramsdale. Yes, you did. I remember that.
Yeah.
You weren't the only one though. There was plenty.
Yeah, I heard a lot of man. We need to talk about that, man.
Oh yes, we
will. Say about Ramsdale trying to turn now, and yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly.
G Staffy, my girl.
G Staffy in the building, saying hello, Wilf, my brother. Hope you're keeping good, G Staffy in the place as well. So you're Raj asking the question, when will you share the link to join? I will share it. Give it in about 25 minutes. Just going to hear the thoughts. Get people warmed up. Get your stuff ready, you're Raj. Everyone else who wants to join, get your stuff ready, because I didn't even realize I was 7 minutes late. But yeah, people, get your stuff ready. We will be starting the call in about 25 minutes. I'll drop the link in the chat. It'll be the pinned one when we're up and ready to take calls.
I just thought of this. We should have had some LL Cool J. Don't call her, come back. That should have been that should have been the intro.
Edit, tell me about it. Exactly. Or some S Club, 7 and that.
Yeah,
I mean, some of that reach for the stars.
My boy Ed's S Club 7.
Exactly. There you go. There you go. So yes, big up my brother Shay in the building as well. And he's asked us the question. We'll get into that as well. We'll save that there for you, Shay. Great question that we'll get into. Your Raj is still buzzing, and it's only been a day since that game. Hey, if we're still buzzing, you certainly are. So fair play.
I've just seen his logo. No wonder he wants to get in the chat, man.
Exactly.
He's can't wait.
Tell me about it, for real, for real. But my brother Wilf, I want to ask you, my bro.
Right.
You know, Arsenal win 3-2. You know, standard. Not in your very standard way, with a last minute 2-0 coming back from 2-0 behind.
Really? Think about it. We need Man United, Villa. And it was the Fulham one earlier in the season. So
I say standard because we weren't expecting this against Bournemouth. We weren't expecting this much drama against relegation threatened Bournemouth. But I just want to ask you, first of all, what was your thoughts and emotions through that game? Talk to me of your feelings. And what was you watching the game? Was you checking the scores? Let us know.
I was watching with my daughter. Nice. And she doesn't often watch games with me, but we were there, and when she saw my excitement, because she was on her phone doing her TV, just kind of looking over my shoulder, and then when she saw my excitement, she got into the game as well. And I at 1-0, I thought, okay, not start. We wanted to shake it off and go again. And the way we were playing, up until we went 2-0 down, wicked. I still didn't doubt that we would get something out of the game. I didn't like it. I was like, 2-0 down. It's just, I thought at that stage I was thinking we can get a draw out of this, or we'll at least get a draw out of this. When we went to 2-2, I just had a feeling that we were going to do it. I mean, and it was just a feeling. I wasn't saying, "Oh yeah, we're going to do this." I was just like, "Come on!" And I didn't feel like it. But I didn't. You know when you don't convince yourself, like in the back of your mind, you know, we say we're going to do this. I just feeling we're going to do this. We need one more chance. And when the goal went in, I went nuts. Obviously, I lost my proverbial, but I wasn't that shocked because we were there and we went for their throat from start to finish. And what you've seen in so many games, especially of late, is that they refuse to lose. They like, oh hell no, not in our yard. They've gone rogue. It's like, oh, you're not coming in my yard and pulling them strings because you're going to get slapped about. And I've said, you heard me say this before, but I got the same vibe on this team as I have with the Graham team and with the Invincibles. Because remember, like I said before, the Invincibles weren't the Invincibles until they won.
And I feel the same way currently, and it won't change, but I feel the same way about Arteta now as I feel about Wenger. I love him. I think it's something special. I think he always had a plan to.
Will, sorry to cut you off, my bro. Where's your mic? I can't really hear you at the moment.
Oh right. Yeah. I don't know actually.
I think it's is it the back there?
Is that better?
Yeah, that's much better. Yeah, that's much better.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I feel the same way about Arteta as I do about Wenger. I love him. I love his vision. The only time I doubted him was that loss against Man City. But up until then, the fact that he was unknown was a positive for me, and it's showing up now. I think he has worked miracles with this team, and yeah, I know we spent money and all the rest of it, but you still got to put that team together. Yeah, you still got to make sure that you bring in the right individuals, and not just ability-wise, but mentality, spiritually, emotionally need to fit, and that's what he's done with this team. You know what I mean? Because anybody can get a whole bunch of players, and this is no slight on Graham Potter, because I do respect him and I know you like him, but he's got a whole heap of players there that are world class. Yeah, he's got two very very good goalkeepers in Mendy and Arrizabalaga. He's got up and coming players. He's got your Sterlings and the likes in there, but doesn't mean that he can get them to gel and get them to follow his mantra and his way of thinking. And Reiss is a brilliant example, right? All of us Arsenal fans have been divided on Reiss. We should sell him, we should do this, and we've done it with Eddie and all the rest of it. And then man there, he's held faith with and said, "You're my man. Forget the noise outside. Don't listen to the noise outside. Listen to what's happening in here. And I believe in you, and I believe that you're going to have something important to say in this team. May not be every game, it may not be, for months, but at some point, you're going to be important to us. You're going to have a folklore moment." And we've heard him say it, and everybody was like, "What is this man talking about? Oh, what's wrong with Edu and Arteta and stuff? Why don't you get rid of this man? Get rid of this man." They kept faith with them, and these boys have turned up. Them Haaland boys have turned up, put their foot on someone's neck, and said, "Yeah, I'm your man. I'm ready, boss. I'm ready." They've been soldiers.
It's true, and exactly that. And then the Reiss Nelson point, yeah, like for him to have a moment like that is something that he'd dreamed of. Ever since he was at the Arsenal, and ever since he was
and he will tell his grandchildren about it. He will tell his grandchildren, his grandchildren.
And for him to be given that opportunity, it's because of how hard he's worked. And Mikel Arteta gave him that opportunity, and he took his opportunity against Nottingham Forest, and we saw that was something to build off of there when he came on for the injured Saka, and he played a massive part in our win in that one there. 5-0, of course, it looks comfortable now, and hindsight would say a lot of people maybe we would have won that, but Reiss had the all important moments in that game. But then what you've got to say is, and he's actually performed well even when we just returned from the World Cup in our mid-season games, mid-pre-season games. But he was unfortunate when he picked up that injury against Juventus. Yeah. And he was our best player. I remember against Brighton in the Carabao Cup in a defeat, he was our best player in that game, and he was our best player against Juventus. And it was looking like, this is his opportunity now, because before we didn't have the likes of Trossard, Jesus, of course, that we just heard about his injury, and then Emile Smith-Rowe was still quite far away from being brought into the picture. So it looked like this was his opportunity, and it looked like that he may have missed the boat. But if you keep on working and you keep going until the very last moment, and that's what Arteta's built, and that's what he's given the opportunity to the likes of Eddie and Reiss Nelson, because if you remember with Eddie Nketiah, I know you certainly do, but everyone else, at this point, last season, Eddie Nketiah wasn't signing no new contract. He weren't given these opportunities yet. It was up until mid-March, April, when he was given that opportunity.
7 games or something. Yeah.
And he took it, and it was amazing. And that's why he deserves massive credit, Reiss Nelson and Mikel Arteta, both of them, for Arteta putting in that trust, and Reiss Nelson putting in that dedication and that commitment to show, even if he doesn't, let's say he has a squad player role for the remainder of his Arsenal career, and he goes on and etc. Whatever, to have this moment it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of suffering mentally to go through in that stage. So
a lot of soul searching, because he said when he first broke into the team, he thought he'd made it and he rested on his laurels. And when he got his second chance under Arteta, he's taken it with both hands and worked hard, and he's seen what hard work can get you and where it will take you. And this is a great point. Read it out, please.
Yep, Ferguson was a master of keeping those on the fringes there, ready to stand up when needed. Good coaches, managers know how to keep players primed and ready to go when needed in all sports. Partey song is one that springs to mind when I think of that.
This is
Man
it.
United.
And Solskjaer and is another one like that. And I just time will go to tell just how good a manager and team or this moment is, because every adversity from since last season and including last season, these boys have showed up and they only make the same mistake once. Yeah, they only took you can't, you're not making the same mistakes with this team time and time again. And if and when he goes on to lift this title, it will be the youngest manager with the youngest team ever in the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And when you say that from an outsider's point of view, that's scary. Because if this was Man United or Liverpool or Man City or Chelsea or whatever, I would be afraid, because this is another dynasty potential dynasty team. Yeah, and people can throw shade on this all they like, and we ain't this and we ain't that. But every hurdle, every roadblock, every question that's been asked of us, we've delivered this year.
And do you know why people should be afraid as well? But not those points, I definitely do agree. Because as the title of this video is, the season the Emirates became home. I think this is the season where it has really. How long we've been at the Emirates for now? Not even 17 years.
17 years, yeah.
17
Just
years,
and
we've had moments at the Emirates. Arsenal versus Leicester, 1-0 down, and we won that 2-1, and that was a February time where. And that was a victory where I certainly thought that's it. This is where we're going to win the league, and it never happened. Even though that squad had its deficiencies. But
Liverpool, I remember getting Liverpool with Rambo scoring that late goal.
The cracker. That was that same season. Was it that season? I don't think no. It was the season before. I think it was the season before or something like that. Yeah, because it was before Alexis Sanchez came in. But that's when Aaron Ramsey was in ridiculous form. The season we won the FA Cup, that was, and he was.
Yeah, and had he not been
injured,
we'd have gone on that. We'd have won.
Things could have looked different. The Barcelona game, the best footballing team that we've ever seen. Let's say in the club side of anyway, 1-0 down, winning that 2-1. Andre Arshavin with that last minute winner. That was a magical moment on a European night. We have had these moments, but this season, I think this game what tops it off in terms of the emotion, because you didn't see a single red seat in the house with that last kick corner.
I'd go further than that. I would say there's never been a season like this since Highbury, because there's been so many games. Because how many times?
That's what I was going to say.
We said this against Villa. We said this against Leicester. We said this against Palace. We said this Man United, Liverpool. All these. We look back, and every time they seem to top it. I come with another emotion. I mean, I don't know what this must be doing to them emotionally, draining wise, because it's. I mean, at one point, they're floating on air. But at the next game, they've got to come back down to earth, get refocused, and go again like none of this has happened. Like for us, we can run with this till the next game, but for them, they have to, like today in training, that game's gone. We're on to the next game, and as a player, I want to keep feeling that emotion, but you've got to let it go, because you've got to go into the next one, and when you're that high. When you're that high, and I don't care what no one says about celebrating. I don't care if it was, I don't know, some team from a non-league, you win last minute like that from 2-0 down. I'm sorry, I'm taking that. I'm losing my mind. You know, yeah.
It is amazing, and this is the time where we went to the first home game at the Emirates, and I've been to the Emirates a few times. That was my first time sitting at the Emirates with the home fans for a game, but I never experienced anything like it from outside the stadium. How we was walking and the feeling that we had when we stepped into the Tollington, and how everyone was so like, it felt like a family. It felt like a massive family, but in a family in a sense where because you know, some people would say families. I don't know about that. It's a bit awkward when you're with certain family members, but
in the way that people mean, in the loving way that people mean,
loving way, exactly that, the loving way where we all came for one thing. We met people that, you know, that we've seen on social media. We met people that we've never even seen and really spoke to, and shared our love and passion for this Arsenal in the wonderful sun. When I always keep saying this, guys, and I will continue to keep saying it until probably the rest of my life. When Saliba scored that own goal, I've never ever seen anything like it in football and now I've seen it about 5 to 6 times this season.
Yeah, exactly.
Even in this game, 2-0 down. Come on, Arsenal. Come on. Never, ever before. There used to be boos, and there used to be so much going on. Like if Arsenal would go 1-0 down, it was on a tightrope. It was always on edge. It was always fragile.
Easy turn.
Even with arguably one of our greatest managers ever in Arsene Wenger. And
arguably, 100%. No, there's not even a debate about that.
Yeah, well, you know, Herbert Chapman and that, people will say
he surpassed him. He surpassed him. I love Herbert. You know what I mean? He's a good mate of mine.
There you go. So, but this is the amazing part, and this is where the atmosphere has taken it to the next level. And you'd arguably say that it's been the best atmosphere for our Premier League ground this season. And for us to say that about the Emirates, and even in our great times, a lot of people, you know, what was the stigma around Highbury the library, and so
library,
much. Whereas Arteta has taken this and he's added so much into it, like with the Ashburton Army that is there.
The big respect's got to go to them. Big respect's got to go to them.
With the you know, the song that we have at the start, North London Forever.
Yeah, that gives me chills now.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it's kind of what we're trying to replicate, where, you know, the stadium that we're still going to have to go to in Anfield, trying to give it some culture and building its history from now. And this is why it is amazing. Luke was there the other day. Luke, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. And if you're able to jump on this call-in show, I'm going to get the link set in a bit. We'd love to hear it. But if you can't, bro, that's totally fine. Those of you in the comments, same goes for you. Love to have you on. But if you can't, definitely get your comments coming in as well. So yeah, man. And I just before we dash the link in here, man, is there anything else that you wanted to say on this wonderful place that we can call home now?
I mean, you alluded to it. You touched on it just a bit, but the Ashburton Army, respect to them, because not only for what they do in the ground and what they do for the atmosphere and how they've elevated our club with respect, but what they do in the community, the criteria to be part of the Ashburton Army means you're got to be part of the community, you've got to be doing stuff to help others, and they epitomise what I believe is at the heart of Arsenal Football Club. You know what I mean? We're all inclusive, we're all encompassing, we welcome all, man, woman, child, whatever, however dark, light your skin is, where you're from, your religion, your sexuality, whatever it is. We are Arsenal, and you are part of that. And I really, big up to them. I can't big them up highly enough.
And it's a whole club thing right now that we've got here, because if you're having a look at it, think about the women's team that just won the Continental Cup.
First pinch of silverware. for the Arsenal. Thank you very much.
That's what I'm saying. And then we've also got the so we got the under-21s that are performing on a ridiculous level in the under-18s in the FA Youth Cup. So much going on at the Arsenal right now. But we've got our first caller in here right now. He's not actually an Arsenal fan. He's a Liverpool fan, but he've been meaning to get him on for a long time.
It's cool.
We've been meaning to get him on for a long time. It's our brother, Yuvraj. How you doing, my mom?
Hey, Yuvraj.
Yeah, big up.
How you doing, brother?
I'm happy still. I mean, I'm probably still going to be happy about this until the end of the week because, you know.
Really? Why are you happy? Why is it that you're happy?
Yeah.
What exactly is it? What exactly is it?
A certain team got demolished by us.
Okay.
7-0? Was it 7-0? I mean,
yeah.
I heard about that.
Yep, exactly that. Aye, brother. Yuvraj, thank you from an Arsenal fan. You know, you've saved us twice now, Liverpool, in the Champions League final up against Spurs. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for sorting that out. And putting them lot to sleep, really, and quieting down all this, the best this, the best that. Bro, I know it's the Arsenal show, but you have to talk about, like, how you feeling and how was you shocked about that victory?
I expected much more tighter game. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it would be much tighter. I thought United. I think United were the better team in the first half. I'm not gonna lie here. I think United were creating more chances, but then Gakpo and Nunes both scoring the players that Ten Hag wanted, and people called them a flop. Well, I want to call it Anthony as well because Anthony, wow, he is awful. People look at the price these days, honestly. So I'm just like, people call us up, Nunes a flop. At least he does something for once. Anthony, he literally shows no effort, nothing. And I mean, it's looking good right now. I mean, we've got Bournemouth next, so a half 12. So I'm not going to jinx anything because a half 12 record is quite bad. But yeah, but it reminded me of the old Liverpool the second half. I'm not going to lie. It was the old Liverpool basically the second half. And for me, the test is, we got some tough games to win. I think we got Bournemouth, then Madrid, then we got, I think, Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal. Those 3 games are massive for me. So I think we need to win at least 2 of them because because Newcastle, and this is our best chance at top 4 because I'm looking at Newcastle, they're dropping off. Tottenham, they're just Tottenham in it. So.
Exactly that. You're absolutely.
Do us a favor. Make sure one of those 2 wins is the Man City one. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then and the ones that isn't a win is the Arsenal.
Yeah.
One. That's all right.
Yeah. I'll be ready. But no, I mean, I'm looking back on that, and and there's one man that I can't stand as a pundit. He's Gary Neville because the brother's got no he's got no morals. No, I don't respect him at all as a pundit. I'm sorry. Gakpo and Darwin Núñez and Salah were going through some tough times, and people was flinging all kind of mud at them, saying they're this, that, the other. Gakpo and Núñez never stopped playing. Yeah, throughout the time where they were saying, oh, they were crap and they were going through a bad time and whatever. And I take back what I said now because at one point I rated Anthony. But to be showboating in that game, I thought was disgraceful. And then not turning up when you're getting battered. I know T, when you did your show, you talked about Bruno Fernandes. If that had been me, if he'd been an Arsenal player, I'd want him out now. I'd want him out of the club, never to put on a shirt again, because it would have been bad enough had he not been wearing the captain's armband.
Yeah.
But all of that diving, play, showboating, trying to foul a man, trying to get sent off, I thought that was weak. It was cowardice, both him and Anthony. So effectively, Man United were playing with 9 men because them boys just switched off. They might as well have just walked off the pitch. to be showboating in that game at 0-0 or 1-0, and then not delivering anything, that's embarrassing.
Right.
That's embarrassing.
And the worst thing for Bruno is, I remember that Baditic one. He just touched his badge and then he just started crying. Like your team is doing 4-0, 5-0, and you do that. Like Bruno, what makes it worse for him is he's the captain and he all he does is whining, moaning. Just if he just stopped that by his game, he would have been more rated. But it's just why. Yeah, I'd want him on my club.
To take a line from Glory, ante up and dig in. When it's like that, don't be kissing the badge. By kissing the badge, you put in the tackles. You're running down man. You're playing balls. You're bleeding the red of your team. And just it's for show. It's for show, and it's so that on social media he doesn't get crucified. But I just thought that was disgusting.
But nah, yeah, you're right. I totally understand, man. And I just want to ask you on Arsenal, right? Because you've got us coming up, and we've got to travel to Anfield, and and I wasn't looking forward to it anyway. I wasn't, and I'm certainly not looking forward to it now. As you guys have 5 clean sheets in a row at home in the Premier League, not at home in a row in general, which is tremendous, and it's kind of showing that you guys are coming back. But what's your thoughts on Arsenal? Do you think that we will win the league? And who's been your favourite player to watch?
I would probably say Arsenal in the league, just because of the mentality. 2-0 down, to win 3-2. People say it's only Bournemouth, but any team if you're 2-0 down, it's a comeback. And this, I have to give credit to Arsenal. As much as I do not like Arsenal, their fan base, I'm not going to lie. Nice. I have to give them credit. Just, you just can't. I just see the media hating Arsenal. It's just like, give them credit, man. Like it's at a point where they just don't give them credit, and it's just Arsenal just been brilliant this season. I kind of hope you guys win the league. I just don't want Man City to win it. So, 3P is just, it's not a fun. People on paper, people say it's a fun, but it just looks 3 in a row. So I kind of want it to different team to win it. So but I think next season will be very exciting next season, because we're gonna see probably Liverpool come back, Chelsea come. Well, Chelsea's all right. Tottenham are just Tottenham in it.
I should be on it back.
We're just Tottenham.
Just Tottenham.
Man City, who's just always up there. So I mean, I think I would say, I think there's United I think people are overreacting about United. We're going to finish above them. I don't think we will. Just generally, I think United, Ten Hag is. If it was Oli, then possibly, I would have said there's Ten Hag, and they can respond. We've seen it before. 6-3, they lost the season, they responded, and their mentality is there. So I think United will be fun. I still think he will probably get top 4. I think we'll get 3rd. And I just love that we beat them, because they thought they're in a title race. Really, they're not. I mean, most of their fan base thought.
I'll give them that. I said they were up until then, and it would have meant both us and Man City slipping up if they had kept pace with us. But I think that's all gone now. But I think next season it will every season in the Premier League gets tougher and tougher. But I think there's Liverpool will be back, because Klopp will do something that he's never done before, which is rebuild. Man City are not going to rest on their laurels. I actually do think Man United under Ten Hag have the makings of a title challenging team or a fighting team. Newcastle, if they can sort out their goal shyness, will be up there. So it's probably going to be one of the hardest times to make the top 4 next season.
And if United get Qatar owners in, you should be worried, because if you give Ten Hag the money, he's going to be firing. And look, I think for Liverpool's transfer window, we do definitely rebuild in the midfield. We've needed it for 3 years now. I mean, we haven't replaced Wijnaldum at all. So, look, I'm happy that we're actually going to spend big this summer. So, we do need a centre back and maybe 3 midfielders. That's probably my transfer window ideal. I think we'll get Jude Bellingham. I just think
Mm.
there's a lot of rumours are coming in that he wants Liverpool.
Yeah, that's what
His
the
mum's a
talk is at the
Liverpool fan,
moment.
innit? Yeah, his mum's a Liverpool
Yeah.
fan, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems like that, and how his relationship is with a lot of the England players as well. Wilf, you know what? We had a question. When your Raj is back, I'll drop him this question as well. Overall, but who was your man of the match for this game? I know who mine
It's
is.
a tough
It'll be
one.
interesting to hear yours first.
It's a tough one.
And mine's not Reiss Nelson, by the way. Although he probably deserves it because of the impact he made.
Yeah, the impact they made. I'm trying to avoid going for the obvious.
What's the obvious?
Well, the obvious is Martinelli or possibly Thomas Partey.
Oh yeah, that's my one.
Those
Thomas Partey.
But you know what? I actually want to give it to Ramsdale. Okay. Because he made some saves in there that had he not made them, we don't win that game. And not just with the saves that he made, but his distribution. There was a lot of times under pressure. He was playing like a midfielder. And not enough has been made of that save. We know when we're 1-0 down, ball comes across and he dives at the guy's feet. Every championship winning side or title winning side or whatever it is you want to call it needs a goalkeeper that can step up in those big moments and pull out those saves where you go, nah, it just sucks the soul out of the opponents because they're thinking, oh my God, we've got to try and get past him now. And he is now, there's a thing with strikers. If it's just a goalkeeper, you look at the goalkeeper and think, I can beat him. But when you look at the goal and you see a name, all of a sudden they're in your head. The fact that you're thinking Schmeichel, Seaman, Lehman, Van Sar, when you look up and you see their name, that is frightening as someone bearing a goal because they're an extra foot longer and wider and taller, and it's you see their face and you think these brothers don't give up shots. And I think I mean obviously Partey's the one, but I'm going to give it to Ramsdale just to be different, really.
I hear that because with that save that he made as well, the way he spread himself and attacked the ball as Solanke was going to, was it Solanke? Or he's the one who played it across. Solanke played it across and it's to Utara. That was Alisson-esque in terms of that save, how he dives forward at it, makes it and smothers the ball literally. So it was kind of like
and
Alisson.
Again, one thing, you forget his age, and for a keeper, he's a baby.
Yeah.
He's not even 20. He's 23, 24, something like that.
Yeah, he's in his baby. Early to mid 20s.
Yeah, he's not even come close to his peak yet, and he's playing at this level.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, Ramsdale, without Ramsdale, he would be probably 2-0 down, 3-0 down at half time. That's Bournemouth. And I think that gives me belief for the Bournemouth game as well at half 12. If Bournemouth go 2-0 up, I still think we can do them because Bournemouth always concede goal and then they're still back in the game pretty much. So obviously, I don't want to go 2-0 down to make it hard for ourselves. But I think this gives me more confidence for that Bournemouth game as well. Even to half 12, I don't think you can trust Bournemouth to win if they're 1-0 up or 2-0 up because they always concede chances.
It's true. They do. They have been better of late in terms of being a little bit more resolute. They went away to Wolves and kept a clean sheet, and that was decent for them. They kept a clean sheet. No, it wasn't a clean sheet, but a 1-1 draw up against Newcastle as well. And that was, at the time, it was very impressive, and it still is in my eyes. They have improved, and they certainly have from when you played them and then when we played them earlier on in the season in that sense. But I wanted to ask you, who's been your who's been your favourite player to watch this season for Arsenal?
It's quite hard, to be fair. Everyone's been good to watch, to be fair. I'll probably give it to Saka because he was under a lot of pressure this season. And he wasn't that great for me last season. Like, his stats last season weren't great, and there was no output, people were saying. But now we're seeing the output, and now that Saka signed a new contract, you're not going to see Liverpool, Man City go for him anymore probably now, because Arsenal and Arsenal big money. So, yeah, I think Saka, because he's quality player. I always knew he was a good quality. I just had to worry about his output. Now he's delivered output. Now I would take Saka at Liverpool right now, but I don't think he will get in our team. To be fair, because Salah is pretty good dominating. But he's a good Salah replacement. But obviously, I think he is going to stay at Arsenal for the rest of his career.
What do you say about that, Wilf? I think it's a fair point in terms of, looking from an outsider. Saka's output was the only thing that needed to really take a big improvement.
I slightly disagree with that because, I mean, he was among the top goal scorers and top assisters last season. But yeah, I hear that because people were asking questions, and what did he do? He raised his level to a level that we didn't think, I can't raise his level again. But he has. I mean, in world football now, there isn't many better than him. I mean, you talk Salah, but Salah's been more because he's been consistent. But I mean, Saka's an excellent shout. He's an excellent shout, and from an outsider's point of view, totally, because he's done it for his country, and he's done it for the club, and he's been kicked about, and he's been mugged, he's been rolling over by juggernauts, and he keeps getting up and he keeps fighting, and nobody don't protect him, but he's doing his thing. I hear that. I hear that.
Ooh, let's throw this question to you guys. Big up yourself, Rally, in the place, and everyone else who's locked in right now. Quick question, guys. Best goalkeeper in the Premier League. Rank these, actually. Yeah, I want you to rank them. Alisson, Ramsdale, Edison, De Gea, who go from 4th to 1st.
Okay.
Yuvraj, I'll let you start.
4th, De Gea. I'm not going to lie. De Gea is good, but his distribution for me for 4th, 3rd, I mean, that's quite hard. I mean, are we basing it overall or form? That's the thing I'm looking at.
You can overall.
I suppose overall. Yeah. If overall it changes it.
Yeah.
Nah, because De Gea is still 4th for me.
Yeah, De Gea 4th. I'm gonna go 3rd, Ramsdale, just because I'm basing it overall. I think Ramsdale's good, quality goalkeeper. I think Edison edges 2nd, and I have to back my boy Alisson because we've been bad this season, but he's been our shining light. He saved us a lot. Like, he's been massive for us. He's saved us from embarrassment a lot. And he made the mistake versus Madrid and them lot, but I'm not going to stick that. I'm not going to banter him for that because he's been our best player this season. So, yeah, I'm going to go overall Alisson 1st, 2nd Edison, 3rd Ramsdale, 4th De Gea.
Yeah, I hear that. Oh, Wills, he's dipped out. But for me, with that question, you know what I'm going to go with? I'd say De Gea 4th. I've never really been a massive fan of De Gea's overall game. I want amazing shot stopper at once upon a time, and I think he's good if you are a pragmatic team that takes a lot of shots, and he's going to be able to make a lot of saves in that aspect. So he's 4th. Ramsdale and Edison are close, right? Edison is better with the ball at his feet in terms, because I think he's the best on this list in terms of his distribution. But I'd say Ramsdale is an overall better goalkeeper than Edison in terms of shot stopping, even collecting crosses. Although he hasn't been as strong in that aspect recently, but overall, I think he's a more rounded goalkeeper than Edison. So I think it's close in terms of that, because Edison's distribution just takes him to the next level. But you know what? For the sake of form as well, because it's so close, I'd go with Ramsdale ahead of Edison. But at number 1, it is Alisson for me, and he has been your best player this season, I would say. So what's yours, Wilf, if you was to rank those goalkeepers there? Guys in the chat, you do the same as well.
I always, because they're both Brazilian keepers and they're both Brazilian number 1s, I always get confused with Alisson and Edison. 4th, I'd put De Gea for the same reasons, actually. I think he's, if it's on pure goalkeeping, shot stopping kind of thing, he would probably move up there for me. But fourth would be De Gea, just because of the distribution thing. I would say Alisson's the Liverpool keeper, right?
Yeah.
I would with you. I would just have him third, just on
Alisson third.
Yeah. Ramsdale second. Just. There's not much in it. If you swap them round, I would, and I would put. I've always thought Emerson is the better keeper between him and Alisson. But again, it's so tight. I'm talking like a hair's breadth between them all. But I just the reason why I put Ramsdale so high is because he's doing it at such a young age. Yeah, and to be in this conversation at his age now says it all. The fact that he's in a conversation with Alisson and Edison and De Gea, who have been arguably, two of the biggest clubs in English football, arguably the world, and one over the last 10 years, one of the biggest clubs and most high-profile clubs. To be in that conversation, I think that's why I put him and his current form in second place. I know I've got my Arsenal hat on, but yeah.
I hear that. Rally says, I think, Rally did put his in. Where is it gone now? Oh, there he is. I'd go Alisson first, Ramsdale, Edison, then De Gea.
Okay. Slightly switched it around for me, yeah.
Pax has said fourth, De Gea, underrated in my opinion, but can't touch these lads.
Yeah.
Third, Ramsdale, second, Edison, first, Alisson. And you know what? I can hear that. And that's, because it's Ramsdale and Edison are the closest ones for me, whereas Alisson, when I say clear, I mean like he's number one for me in terms of overall ability, everything you want from him.
And I only drop him down because of Liverpool's form this season, not because of his form.
Even though he's been their best player, though.
I know.
Alisson, and he has been amazing. But no worries, Rally. Anytime, any more questions, chuck them in. But we got my brother M in the building. Long time no speak, my brother, man. The last time I spoke was when we won at Leicester at the first home game of the season. How are you, man?
Yeah,
he's here.
Yeah, I've been good. Good to see you again. I think the last time we spoke was against Crystal Palace or Leicester.
Leicester, yeah.
But we wouldn't need the chasing in the league, but this season bad to say the least.
Yeah, man. But bro, give me your thoughts and emotions and feelings, everything on our big victory against Bournemouth. Reiss Nelson with a winner.
Yeah, listen, it was a big win. Arsenal didn't need to do that to the fans, like give us that heart attack. I nearly had that. I think I'm gonna have a heart attack because I can't cope with this, honestly. People, like, out of all teams to go 2-0 down to, we decided to go 2-0 down against. But say all that, even at 2-0, I was convinced we were gonna come back because Bournemouth, they're down there in the table. They're not a good side, and we are. So I big up Reiss Nelson as well. People might forget, but that's not the first season. Came off the bench because Forest scored 2 goals. Player in there as a player with a lot of potential. So I'm hearing today that there's talks of a new contract. I'd see a little bit more before you hand that out, because we've only seen 2 really good games of him this season. I know injuries have, if he can Daka, I think that's what. Then we'll see at the end of the season. But big up to Reiss Nelson.
Yeah. My bro, your connection keeps dropping in and out, my bro. If you drop out and then come back in, see if that will help, my bro. But yeah, we
I
managed to
had to
catch
do
what
that.
you said. Yeah. If so, drop back out and drop back in and see if it works then a little bit better. Because I've got a question for you and I want to know why on Reiss Nelson as well. And you know why, Wilf? Em's just brought up a point there about Reiss Nelson because Arsenal are in talks now to offer him a new contract. Is that if you was the decision maker in this, would you look to offer Reiss Nelson a new contract? Are you happy with that?
I would, and I'll tell you why. Because we don't see what Reiss has done in the last 6-7 months. Yeah, Arteta see him every day on the training field, working back from injury, attitude in the dining room, and all them kind of things. If they're talking about it, then they must be seeing something like they saw with Eddie. And if they are considering it, then they're not just looking at the 2 games that he's played against Forest and this one against Bournemouth. They've seen something in him that has changed. They've seen that as a squad player, he can push the players that are in the first 11. And yeah, I don't see why not, because you know what? And again, this is something that I said really on early shows, but the class of 92 had that core of young brothers. And you think about going forward, Eddie, Saka, Emil Smith Rowe, and Reiss now as Haaland boys, the effect that they will have on the team going forward to the youth man that's come through, like your Balligans and your Patinos and other men in the Haaland. It would be good for the club as a whole, and I would give him one. And it's not just on his recent performances. I obviously have seen a change in him and a different man. And I say man now has come up. So yeah, I would give him.
I hear that. I do hear that indeed. And just before I pass this on to Yuvraj, this is what I'd say as well, because yeah, from the outside as fans, as we're looking at it and what, you know, we always think about giving players contracts based on what they've done previously. But I think that's the mistakes that we've made as our football club in giving contracts for players based on what they have done. We did that with Aubameyang. Look how that turned out. We did it with Ozil, and it was more to do with because we sold Alexis Sanchez. But you got to look about what can the player give you now. Is he got the building blocks? Does he want to be here? Something as simple as that, lads. Does he want to be here? Yes. You keep those players on board because they're a part of that dressing room. They're the ones who are gonna keep working and push the levels, whether it's up in their game or the people above them, because I want that shirt. I'm willing to give it everything I can for that shirt. So I do hear that, and that's why I'm all right with it. Or you know, if I was playing FIFA, I wouldn't give him a contract because I'd like for us to go and sign a. You know, I'm looking at the big star names, you know, like your Rafael Leao's and your Kvaratskhelia in dreaming of those types of players, but I'm all right with it. I'm easy, bit like I was with Eddie in that sense. So yeah, I'm not against it. If Arteta and the club feel like that's best to do, then go ahead and do so. What about you?
To pull a line from the Field of Dreams. If you build it, they'll come. So them players that you mentioned that you would like, you know, the big shiny new toys, when they see what we're building here, they will demand to come, like Modric did. They will demand to come. And the price tag will drop down because I want to go here. My club needs to drop this price because I want to go here. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's all good. What about you, Yuvraj? As an outsider looking at it, I know you probably won't have caught much of Reiss Nelson, but I'd say I'd liken it a little bit to, you know, when you had Divock Origi, those types of players, those squad players,
the same thing,
in and around.
This moment, like, you're going to be looking at this moment, and that's going to probably look at this moment and winning the league. So, and he's one of those players like who can deliver if he gets a chance. But a new contract, I would probably give him. Clearly, Arteta sees something in him, and to be fair, his talent ID is decent. I mean, everyone thought Jorginho would be a wrong signing, but look at how that turned out. So, I mean, I think I would wait a bit, but if he continues this form, and you're going to be looking at this moment, like I said, you'll be looking at this moment thinking that's winning the league, because it's a moment where you were 2-0 down, and Nelson what a goal as well. That was a brilliant goal from a player that rarely plays, really. So I think you could get him more minutes now, I think. I mean, in the Europa League potentially as well. You got Sporting this Thursday, so you could give him minutes then. So I would wait a bit, but if he did what he's doing now, this moment could win you the league. So I would wait a bit.
Yeah, I think
not just the Europa League, but I mean, because we've got Trossard out injured, Jesus still coming back, Eddie's out, he's not 100%. So now could be a time for Reiss to shine.
Yeah.
Exactly. And what's your reason for holding back on this new contract? You didn't catch. I'm not sure if you was able to catch what me and Wilf were saying in terms of that, but yeah, interesting to find out your reason why you think twice on that right now.
Yeah, can you hear me better?
Yeah.
With Reiss Nelson, like, I've probably backed the player more than a lot of Arsenal fans, but with Reiss Nelson about the new contract, it's just, I think it's too soon. Like, I think it's quite reactionary. Here's a new contract because of the goal he scored and the appearance he made off the bench this season. However, I'd just wait till the end of the season, see what role he gets in the squad, whether he pushes Saka or he's just a backup player that can come in. Now, Reiss Nelson's a player with a lot of potential. The quality's there. Everyone can see it. But giving him a new contract right now, I'd just hold back on it till the end of the season. And if he carries on performing, comes off the bench, starts scoring goals, giving assists as well, I'd be more than happy to give him a new contract. But I think it's just quite a bit early for contract talks right now.
Yeah, so you'd hold out on it a little bit, but once again, my thing that I'd say to that is if you hold out on it and his price goes up and his value goes up, then you're kind of putting yourself in a weaker position in that sense. And I think Paxton said it here: 2-year deal, loan him out or see if he's got a growth. Yeah, I wouldn't even loan him out, but a 2-year deal, something like that, where you can have a scope for an extra 2 years if where the club and the player has an option like that, because Arsenal are adding a few of those in their contract of late. So if he had a big, massive part to play towards the end of the season, a bit like how Eddie Nketiah did, and we're like, you know what, we see potential in this player, we might have to then shell out a big Eddie Nketiah wage in terms of that sense, because we'll be losing him on a free. So
but you say that, but I don't really think, again, I mean, Harry said this, I don't think the Eddie Nketiah wage is that huge. When you consider $100,000 a week, it sounds like a lot to you and me, but in footballing terms, at a club like Arsenal, there are a lot of players in and around that anyway. And not having to pay a signing on fee. This is what I got. I said I touched on last week was, if we've got players like this who it's going to cost 50, 60, 70 million to replace them, to bring in someone just that little bit above them in level. Is it really financially or business sense where you could coach this brother up? Because he's the one that left to go Chelsea, the youth brother that left to go Chelsea. Left us to go Chelsea. Youth team player is Henry? No,
Omari Hutchinson.
Omari Hutchinson. He must be looking at that now, going, what the Ross did I do? Because his path would have been fairly assured. And we've got to be careful about wanting to sell players where us as fans, because they're not sparkling and stepping out there and doing the business like your old Nennies and your Rob Holdings and stuff. It's sometimes good business sense to have a man that has the mentality to come off the bench and do their business, do their job. Yeah, because there's many players that made a career around that. There's the one I first was Fairclough at Liverpool, Solskjaer at Man United, Divock Origi, Champions League winner. You know what I mean? Without him, you don't win the Champions League. These players are worth their weight in gold, rather than selling them and having to go out and replace a man.
The reason why it is a lot of money, because the reason we paid it is because he had nothing left on his contract, so he could command that money. But this is it. The demand was higher for Eddie Nketiah because there was teams before he even played for us to try and sign him to 20 million in Crystal Palace and Brighton. So this is why it's if you wait a little bit, you might be having to do the same. Where if his contract's running out, as you said, there's no sign-on fee. So other teams that becomes more desirable, and that says, you know what, actually, I'll give Reiss 100k a week, because if I was to sign a winger, an English winger who's a homegrown player, I'd probably have to sign him for 30 million for a 5-year deal, which would work out to be 100k a week anyway. Do you know what I mean? So. And then if we do that, remember, what's Chelsea's problem right now? What's Manchester United's problem right now? We've worked so hard in making sure that we're keeping everyone on this clear wage structure. We brought in the likes of Fabio Vieira, who are reportedly, remember, it's reportedly 40k a week, for a 35 million pound player. The reason why Mudryk ended up going Chelsea, we know why, because we weren't going to offer him 110k a week that he would have got. We would have paid the money, transfer fee, but we wouldn't have gone anywhere near that because of the stage that he's in his career and how we work as a process. So I
think you really dodged a bullet in terms of getting Trossard was a blessing in disguise, because I know he's 29, he's going into his 30s, but also you want to strengthen in the summer, definitely. I can confirm that. So I think getting Trossard for 21 million was a bargain, and he probably injured now, but he can do a good job. And I think what Arteta done really well this season is he tried Trossard in the centre forward with Martinelli, because now we're seeing Martinelli being the same Martinelli we saw before the World Cup, because first few games you saw him dropping off a bit. He wasn't the same. Now he has Trossard down in the middle who can actually link up. See, with Eddie, I just have to say about Eddie, I think he's good. Eddie's good, but is he good enough to lead you for a title? I don't think he is that level. But I think Eddie has done a good job until that Man City game, because I think Eddie has a lot of pressure on him. He just hasn't. I don't think he's good enough to lead you to a league title. Top 4, but league title, I don't think he is.
I hear that, and I think that's a fair point, and brilliant point that you've made about Trossard coming in and how he's made such a difference, and him coming into that central area has brought the best out of Gabriel Martinelli once again. And man. And what was your thoughts on
revitalize our side? Both him and Jorginho.
Yeah, exactly that. So good points right there, lads. About Martinelli playing up front. Will kind of touched on him in a little bit, saying that he was up there for one of his man of the matches. He's gone. So Will, I'm going to pass this on to you then. Okay. Martinelli up top. I was very impressed in his overall game when he moved into that central area.
And it was seamless, and it makes me think that, last season where people going, we need Martinelli inside, what is Arteta doing? He was holding back, letting him learn what he needed to learn, so that when he goes on the pitch, he does his thing. And I think the fact that Trossard went off injured and he had to play in that central role earlier than was expected, I think that was always the aim.
Yeah.
But as an alternative, as a plan B. But now we're going to have to use him because of the injury situation. Trossard is a big one for me, because he's going to he's going to be out for 3 weeks because I think it's a groin thing. And it does put pressure on our front line because it means Saka's going to play even more. I don't know how long Eddie's going to be out for, but he's not 100%. And we're going to rely on Reiss even more. But it shows that these are contingency plans that Arteta and his staff all had in mind from the beginning of the season, because this isn't knee jerk. This is a planned exercise, and it's in case this happens, break glass, and we're having to break the glass now. So
absolutely.
I just want to say, I don't think this is a mad claim, but I would be more scared of a front three of Trossard, Mane, and Saka instead of Jesus and Saka, Mane, because Jesus will probably just be back. He may be very rusty, so I would actually be more scared of the Trossard, Mane, and Saka front three because it's linking up well. And will he be fit? I'm sure he'll be fit by the Liverpool game because that's in like a couple of weeks. So I'll be scared of more of that front three instead of the Jesus.
Just before, that's a good point you brought up there, Yuvraj. And just before we go into our rest, and the lines, guys, ladies and gents, I have shut them now. We're going to probably go on for another 10 minutes or so. Then I have to get myself ready because got to go into the office again tomorrow, guys. But so Arsenal are optimistic that Leandro Trossard did not suffer a serious groin injury against Bournemouth and hope he could return before the international break in 2 weeks' time. So it could be another 7 to 10 days, which should be good, and it shouldn't be significant damage. He's going to go for another scan tomorrow as well, so that'll be interesting to see that there. So we'll know the extent of his injury. So yeah, good point there, Yuvraj, in terms of, because they're fit and ready and firing, and Trossard gives you that Jesus-esque when how he drifts out to the left. He's more comfortable and drifting out than Eddie Nketiah is, who is much more of a number 9, a bit, as me and Wilf have spoken about, like not exactly the same, but similar to Haaland into how he is as a striker. Wants to be in a box, wants to run in behind, wants to try and get the goals in the 6-yard box in there as well. My brother Orest in the building, long time. Well, I caught you yesterday, but yeah, now big up my bro. It's been a long time since me and you really chat together, and yeah, it's not the greatest of circumstances for you. If you don't know, guys, Orest is a Manchester United fan.
I'm a football fan.
Big up for coming on, man. Big up for coming on.
I don't hide, man. I don't hide. So, yeah. Listen, I'm not Tereak, you know. I'm not Tereak.
Calling me
out. Much respect for that. Much respect for that.
Big up Orest, man. And hey, we got Yuvraj here, spoke about it as a Liverpool fan, and I do have to ask you, how you feeling now? 24 hours after that horrible night.
Listen, first of all, we're with collagen. Listen, it's all spreaded with Arsenal fans, man. Today, honestly, spread with Arsenal fans. I saw one of them gave me a 7-Up drink. I was like, mate, go away. Just go away. Listen, obviously, since that loss, for me, I came into Rich Channel. What I said is, I want to see the reaction from the boys, man. I really do. Obviously, Thursday, Europa League, Real Betis. We just drew with Real Madrid 0-0. So that won't be, obviously, their manager, Manuel Pellegrini. Listen, he would want to get something, but yeah, I mean, from today, what I saw, apparently Tereak said to the guys, if I see anything like that again, I'll put you into the under-21, something like that. So, yeah.
I've respect on him for that. I have to say something. I was saying to Tereak before we came on the show, and if you're a real football fan, you shouldn't let yesterday's result distract from what Ten Hag and this Man United side have done throughout this season. I mean, we got it last season because we didn't make top 4. It was a complete failure and all this. You think about where you started, the first 2 losses and the whole Ronaldo saga, and it mirrored a lot of stuff that we did with, our 3 losses and Aubameyang and the rest of it. Where he has got Man United, because after those first 2 games, if you had said to a Man United fan, 12 games to go and you're going to be third, would you take that? They'd have ripped your arm off. They'd have ripped your arm off. You know what I mean? And it's humiliating, it's humbling, and we know all the rest of it. And banter wise, you're going to live with that. We've had to live with 8-2, and but it shouldn't take the gloss off of what has been a very good, arguably good, some would say respectable season for Man United, and showed their resurgence.
Of course. I mean, Ten Hag's done a fantastic job. Yes. But I'm not worried because we've seen games like this, Brentford, Villa, City. After that, we've gone on the run, so I'm not worried. But Ten Hag's done a good job. He really has, and obviously with, as you said, Ronaldo situation, stuff. So he's in a brilliant situation. So obviously we have people like Piers Morgan saying, "Oh, Ten Hag this and that," and listen, yeah, he's obviously defending his boy in it. So it is what it is. But nah, listen.
I've seen retarded ants with lobotomies make more sense than Piers Morgan.
He did the same with Aubameyang, Gorist. Like,
he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know nothing about football.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I think Ten Hag made a mistake starting Dalot over Wan-Bissaka. I think that's my only one mistake for Ten Hag, because I think if Wan-Bissaka started, I think Gakpo knew where they struggled, because Wan-Bissaka is quality defensively. That's where I would blame Ten Hag. But I think it's the players mostly.
I think you missed another point as well. No, why the hell he put Bruno on the left when you got Trent Alexander-Arnold and Rashford? Put him up top. Like, why would you put Rashford on the right? Put him where he was playing at his best on the left. But Ten Hag tactically got it wrong. So for me,
I 2 things on that. One, I think he put Bruno on the left because of Bruno's attitude. He couldn't trust him to be in that position. And I agree with you on the Wan-Bissaka. He's been one of the best right backs in the league this season. One-on-one defending, there's not too many have been better than him, and that was a mistake. You know what I mean? When you've got a Liverpool team that is going to be up for this derby, because it is a derby, and I think Ten Hag underestimated the attitude, the chest that Liverpool were going to come at. They're at home. It's one of their biggest long-term, all-time rivals in British football, in English football. I think he underestimated what was coming at him.
Absolutely. Before we wrap it up, what was you going to say, Yuvraj?
I want to ask everyone here in the panel: would you drop Bruno off captain? Because Bruno was, he wanted a substitution up, and he just was starting crying just after one little hit on the badge, and he started. I just want to ask that, like, would you strip him off captain?
RS Man U fan, you can go Wilf, and then you can answer last year of Yuvraj, because it's a great question.
Yeah.
Listen, obviously before I was and stuff, I've had the same question. I'm going to repeat the same question, same answer I've told them. Yes, and I'll give it to Varane. I'll give it to Rafa Varane. For me, he's the only leader that I can see. Obviously there's others, but Rafa Varane for me, and obviously after full time shouting the players saying "Go away, fans." So I'll give it to Varane, man. Bruno Fernandes. Listen, he annoyed me, honestly. He annoyed me because all these fake injuries that he does, it annoys me. And obviously, put him pushing the fourth official. Yeah, it's 50-50. You can look at that. Obviously, it was a bit. Maybe it was in his way, or I don't know. But you shouldn't be doing this, man. Listen, the captain of the club, and you're not performing in this big game. For me, it's unacceptable, man. So for me, I would strip the captain. For me, I would do it. I would do it.
What about you?
What I would say is I'd drop it. I think Man United should drop him for the next few games. Have him on the bench, because I think what he's done with Liverpool was unacceptable. to be fair, he does it against most teams. He's always in the referee's ear complaining. But especially when he played us, I think he was next to the referee majority of the time. I think if you look at his heat map next to the game, you might as well just look at the referee's heat map because he was the referee.
I mean, but knowing Ten Hag, I think he is smart enough to drop Bruno for that. I think he will drop him for the Europa League tie and probably the next game of the Premier League because he deserves to be dropped. I don't care. And I think the worst player on the United pitch was everyone, but I think it was mostly Bruno just because you're the captain. Why are you asking the substitution? Because you were 4-0 up, and why do you start going on the floor after one hit, one on the face? And that's why I hate him. And Bruno's a quality player. It's just his whining just makes him get underappreciated. Like if he just did, if he didn't do that whining,
that leads him to get a yellow card. All this whining stuff, it leads him to get a yellow card, and obviously what happened with Casemiro, he gets suspended. So, honestly, this Wendy needs to stop. But obviously, a lot of people are saying that he asked for to come off. I watched it back. I think in my opinion, he was asked to know what position he was playing because I think it was around 84th minute. The video that circulated. So I don't think he told him to come off. I think he was asking where his position is. But
having looking at it back, Gary Neville said, "Oh, why is he throwing his arms off like he should come off?" I don't know if it was that actually. In hindsight, so I think it was more what Reiss saying.
It looked like it, but actually, I actually watched it now. Now I understand he didn't.
Yeah, it was a bit like, what are we doing? Where am I going then? Do you know what I mean? Like, but Wilf, your Raj's question: would you strip him off the captaincy?
My initial reaction was hell yeah, because it's from your captain when you're shouting at a man like that. Garnacho made a run and he went for goal and he wasn't going to get the ball to Bruno, and instead of encouraging, he's slating him, going, "What are you doing?" The attitude, but Pax made me rethink because if you're in Ten Hag's position, you've got to think of the bigger picture. Will this damage? How damaging would it be to strip him of the captaincy? But I would seriously consider it. If it was me, I would take it. I would take the captaincy off him because that is just unacceptable behavior from a grown man, let alone a professional footballer, let alone the captain of Man United. Captain of Man United with the history and the all that carries. But Pax does make a good thing because if he's thinking about I'm gonna do it, but not right now, I would definitely drop him for a couple of games. And if you drop him, you've got to give the captaincy to someone else. Put it this way, if I was Ten Hag, then that would be it for me. I'd be showing him the door. I'd be getting rid of him in the summer. I'd be selling him. I'd be doing a Aubameyang with him.
I was going to ask as well, will this affect United's confidence? Because I know they've gone like this. I'm not saying like you've done before. You lost 6-3 to Man City now, but this 7-0, it's like it's more worse than the 6-3. At least you scored 3 goals. Like Liverpool just absolutely demolished you, and I don't think it will. But I just want to pose that question because it could. If you lose to Batiste, then I would be concerned about it. If you lose to Batiste.
Well, I said yesterday this is exactly what I said, but for me, is the reaction that I want to see. It's how we bounce, because if we don't bounce back, disgrace.
Yeah, as Luke says right there, the proof will be in the pudding regarding the 7-0. It's unacceptable to lose like that, but you'll see how we'll find out about the mentality will be in the next games coming up.
And
just on
it will, it would. It will. If anything, this will show Ten Hag what he's got going forward. Which man is going to stand up? Which man is going to actually take that as an affront and go? The next team that comes here is going to, or we go to, is going to feel it. Or have you got players that are just going to go, you know what? I don't want to be on that pitch. I don't want to have that again. I don't want to face these fans. So it shows you if you've got real men in your team or not.
And on the Bruno point, I wouldn't strip him straight away. What I'd do is at the end of the season, because when Maguire's certainly going to be leaving, you don't give the captaincy to Bruno then, because remember, Bruno's not the club captain, he's the vice captain. So if you can let him wear the armband now for the rest of the season, yeah, that's fine. But at the end of the season, you can, if Ten Hag wants to phase him out, which I wouldn't be surprised with his attitude, because that's disgusting to behave like that. And Arteta, right? And this is it. Arteta has said this. I don't want energy drainers in my squad. I want energy givers. What Bruno Fernandes does on the pitch is an energy drainer, and it's not just an energy drainer for the players. Look at Reiss, man. When I'm watching it, it's not like Ander Herrera, where Ander Herrera got on the opponent's skin but made you like feel passionate and fiery. None of us here, apart from Reiss, liked Ander Herrera because he was annoying. But Bruno is annoying to his own fans and to his own players. How he talks about Garnacho, how he talks to Garnacho on the pitch, how he's always throwing his arms up in the air.
That's Palace. Him and Anthony are both.
Him and Anthony, and then Anthony's telling him to, you know what, exactly that. Very true. You can't have that as your captain, as the leader, as the person who's going to be dragging you through these tough times. And it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise that he's been on the pitch when there has been these batterings, because he's always throwing his arms up, and if he's the one that's meant to be the one who stays on the pitch, who's meant to be the leader, the first name on the team sheet, as the captain usually is, then that's not setting a good example for these younger players. Anthony's still relatively young. He's 23. Garnacho's coming through. Dalot's a young player, young Portuguese player. There's a reason.
I think, and it's accumulative. It's not just from this one game. It's been like this from time. And the interesting thing is, and this is what gets me even worse, is when Ronaldo was here, he shut up. He never said anything. When Bruno was on the same field as Ronaldo, he didn't show up. He didn't say nothing. He didn't put up. He shut up. But now Ronaldo's gone. He thinks that he's Billy Big Shoes and wanting to do this. I just think as a manager going forward, and what you're going to do in the same way, because there's a lot of similarities between Man United under Ten Hag and the same with Arteta, I'd get rid of him, because I know when it comes down to it and along the line where we need players to show up, you can't count on him.
Absolutely. Just as we wrap up, guys, as well, I've got a question for you all to go through the panel, and it'll be interesting to hear your thoughts. But Paxton says here, Ruben Neves, Bruno Fernandes, swap deal, Ed. Just before I ask, no way. Just before, because Ed can't stand him either. So just before I go into that question, while I'll give credit to Man United fans, and especially Man United fans like Paxton and Orist as well, what you will be like is you will trust Ten Hag if he gets rid of Bruno Fernandes, whether he's your favourite player, whether you like him or not. If he decided to, that's why I got respect for you, my bro, Orist. That's why, because even no matter who he gets rid of, you trust him, because that's how you're meant to be with your manager. Arsenal, we didn't initially have that with Arteta. I did, I did and I know Wilf did as well. But a lot of our fan base, what we doing? Getting rid of Aubameyang? He's done this, he's done that, and Bruno has done a lot of good things in a Man United shirt. But if he's not the one, but Ten Hag trying to take you back to the top and trying to take you back to the big. Alex Ferguson was the king of getting rid of players when he needed to.
Damn. I put Bruno in the same category as Özil, as in for all your ability, you ain't worth it.
Exactly that. It's true. So the question to round off tonight's show, we will have another calling show as well, where we'll go into much more depth on these. So Yovraj with Liverpool, Orest and Man United, and then if you're free, we'll definitely chop it up with Arsenal as well. But we'll go into more depth and open it up to Premier League and all European fans and everyone who wants to be involved as well. But to wrap it up, Orest, we'll start off with you, my bro. Once you've answered this question, let the people know where they can find you as well. So, Orest, top four, first to fourth. Tell me who's finishing there.
Flipping out. All right. First, Arsenal. Second, City. Third, Man United. Fourth, Liverpool.
I'll take that answer. I'll take United finishing third if Arsenal win the league. I'll take that.
I hated to say that first one. Like, it's
I
fine.
know.
Listen,
I know.
I hated it. Like, listen.
Yeah,
Nketiah or Nunes. I'm joking. Nah, sorry.
Okay, it's still better than Darwin Nunes, by the way. But what I would say is, I say Arsenal. I'm gonna back the boys. I think they'll do it. I'm gonna go City second, Liverpool third, United fourth.
United fourth. Okay. You're Fraj. What about yourself?
Arsenal first, Man City second, third United. I just can't right now. I just can't see United boiling top four. It's just right now in their hands. Fourth, I have to back my thing. I think Tottenham and Newcastle, they're not great. I think we can do them. So I say Liverpool fourth.
But there's only fireworks shooting off as soon as Arsenal win the league, man.
Oh, more than you can believe.
Fireworks. I'm going to Mars and letting the fireworks here.
Listen, Tereak might be a bit drunk, on that next stream. But
a little bit.
You know it, yeah. Oh man, I'd have to get to the parade. So
next season, who knows what can happen?
All I are invited to the parade, by the way.
Oh yes, for sure. More than you can believe, exactly that. Oh, Wilf. Okay, I know who's first for you. Tell me why it's Man City.
Well, I'm having to flip flop because of what I said at the beginning of the season. Yeah. So I'm having to contradict myself. So it's going to be Arsenal first because I said they were going to finish second at the beginning of the season.
You're pessimistic, Arsenal fan.
I know.
What are you so negative for?
I know. I'm so ashamed of myself, man. I'm so ashamed of myself. So Arsenal first, Man City second. It's a tough one because Liverpool have got a head of momentum, and I was laughing at Harry when not seriously laughing, but laughing at Harry when he said about Liverpool coming for making top four. I thought Newcastle could hold on, but I think it's a step too far. Man United third, Liverpool fourth, but it's going to be tight. There's going to be like a couple of points, a point or a couple of points or goal difference in it.
I just want to say, with us right now, we're looking good. 4 clean sheets and 5. I think Konate coming back is massive. Konate's been a massive. It's injuries that affected me, man. It's just But
Van Dijk coming back.
For me, I think the Bournemouth game's more like it's gonna see if we can actually go on a bit of a run. If we don't beat Bournemouth, this 7-0 was no point. That's how I word it because we beat United 7-0 and then we drop points versus Bournemouth. I think we will dominate them. I just think I know it's 12:30, but I think Bournemouth right now they're just not in confidence. So I think I can't assume anything right now because I've seen this before. We went on a run and then we lose to someone like Forest or something like that. So I think we will beat Bournemouth. We will beat.
To be honest, Bournemouth. Listen, they gave Arsenal. Obviously, I know they bottled it, but they gave Arsenal a good game. So
for sure.
What does everybody say? There are no easy games in the Premier League, and the reason why there's no easy games is because the level of football is so high. Yeah, they might be sitting at the bottom of the table, but they play good. They gave us a scare, and they have given other teams a scare. There's teams down there that we lost to Everton. You know what I mean? But and Southampton have taken points off Man City, and all these kind of mad things. Yeah. So
this is my favourite prediction, though.
Brighton.
Yeah, I know. That's not a bad shout, That's not a bad shout. Dark horse, Brighton sneaking.
Brighton actually.
Bruv, the Serbi for me.
Oh, I can say he's been better than Potter in terms of he's actually ideal replacement for Potter, and I think. I think Graham was gonna say, Brighton actually they could go above us if they win their 2 games in hand. So it's mad that Brighton and this Brentford are in it still. Fulham are still in it. You could say.
Still available, so you can get Steven Gerrard if you want.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a dark horse in Europe next season.
Yeah.
An unusual team in Europe next season.
I think
Whether it's
Newcastle will get
Champions
Europe.
League, Europa.
I think,
Eh?
yeah. Newcastle will get Europe. I think they're dropping
Yeah,
off.
yeah,
like-
yeah. I think so. Yeah, I think they'll have enough because their defense is strong enough to hold off. But I think the fact that the goals have dried up has scuppered their Champions League hopes. But Brighton, Pat's always makes these good shouts. Fair, big up to him. But that Brighton shout is a really good one because things like Man United and Liverpool are going to be duking it out and not seeing what's coming out on the rail on the outside.
Yeah, exactly that. So Potter playing 4D chess by making sure Brighton to finish up more. Tell me about it, man. If Brighton do it, yeah. If Brighton do it, deserve be manager of the season over Arteta.
Oh, without doubt, 100%.
He's been unreal, man.
100%.
He's been unreal.
100%.
I think people will give it. I think Arteta will win it, even if they win the league. But I think another contender is De Zerbi because he's, and I think it took time as well. Yeah,
they
did. They were losing their first few games.
Yeah,
under De Zerbi as well.
Yeah, well, the thing about it is like it will get under the radar that because whoever wins the title and because of the way Arsenal are and Arteta, he probably if and when we win the title, he will get it. But De Zerbi is a excellent shout. I'm going to stick a random one in there. Conte, because he got nominated for Manager of the Month. So if he can get Manager of the Month, then he must be a shoo-in for Manager of the Season. How?
I mean,
how can go for a gallbladder? His team don't coach his team. That's by default. He's getting it because he still stayed away from Tottenham.
You know what's more laughable? They said their window was the best out of everyone, and
no, they won. They won the transfer window.
I was with M on Igal's streams and that when they were signing Basuma, and M, you can back this out. You can back. I know my bro can back this for me. I wasn't feeling the Basuma signing. I was getting pelters left, right, and centre for saying that.
I remember people wanted him for us.
Yeah, I said nah. He's not Partey, lads.
I would say he would have fitted better in Liverpool more Arsenal. I think he would have shined more. Just because of I think Basuma at Tottenham, he's not playing in the right position. So if you play him in the right position, he thrives. But I don't blame him for. I don't blame him for this because he's not playing in the right position, and it's just I would have taken him at Liverpool, 25 million. Like
Liverpool most definitely. But how Arsenal midfields works, you need it's like his profile looks good because he's a good ball dribbler, not really a great passer. Fabinho's not the best passer in the world, but he looks brilliant when Liverpool because they're full throttle energy going. Our midfield is like Man City's. You need ball players who are going to be
the technical level of everyone, from the goalkeeper to the front players.
You know, United fans are laughing at me, but I want Frankie de Jong this summer, man. I want to go.
I want Frankie de Jong in the summer. I want Frankie de Jong in the summer.
I don't think we will get him because we don't have a wage structure apparently. So I don't think we'll get him. But
it depends how United do. Yeah,
I think you look. I think
Barcelona need to sell.
They need to sell because they can't buy any players. I think
exactly.
they need to raise 190 million. So man.
Good point. But lads, we're going to wrap it up now, though. Big up to each and every one of you that's tuned in as well in the comments, and big up my guests who are currently on here on show as well. Reiss, we'll start off with you, my bro. Let the people know where they can find you, man. It's been a long time.
A long time, man. Long time. Yeah, you can find me Football on YouTube and Twitter, Twitter, and man. Big up Tereak family on long time. No Arsenal doing well, but hopefully another second part of last season.
Go follow him on Instagram as well. He hasn't given his shout out for Instagram because he does
Instagram, Reiss Football.
Yeah, Reiss Talks Football. Go check it out, people. M, my brother, big first time catching you in a long time. But bro, let the people know where they can find you, man. Appreciate it for jumping on.
Yeah, bro. Thanks for having me on as well. It's just M on Twitter. What I would say as well, you were ahead on ahead of the curve on the Basuma thing. I don't know how you got that spot on. Just
Hey.
like I got the Nketiah over Nunes spot.
Love that. Yeah, big up, man. Appreciate that, man. Because yeah, it was hard at the time. I was getting loads of messages, man, and yeah, people weren't having it at the time. But it's because it's going to Spurs, and you can't be, as Luke says here. Yeah, nobody fits in at Spurs. They'll always be, the rest. Nah. But the Nketiah one. If Nketiah wins a Premier League, I'm sorry, Darwin Núñez ain't got that medal. So
more than
but you're Brad, sorry for the little shot right there on your boy. He's definitely turning up, man. Hey, first time on the calling show as well, bro. It's a pleasure to finally see you and meet you, and such good football knowledge as well, my brother. Let people know where they can find you if you want them to, or
I mean, you can just follow my Instagram. It's just Silvertelly. Well, pretty much that's it. I mean, you don't. I'm just thankful to be on. So yeah, just follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is pretty much Silvertelly. What's up?
Appreciate you, my bro. Anytime, you'll be welcome once again, and that's the same goes for all of you, Mandem, as well. Of course, it's great having a chat with you. Oris. I remember the first time I met Oris. We was talking about about Saka and other players.
Listen, we had Bruno and Odegaard debate. I remember that debate.
Yeah, the Bruno Odegaard one. Yeah, exactly. See, Will, I told you, I back my boys.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly. Hey, but exactly. I did tell you it'd come through.
You did say nah. I can't do
I'm not right about a lot of things, but the ones I'm right about, I'll always make you remember. Okay. But yeah, my brother Wilf in the place as well. Really appreciate you, my co-host. Let the people know where they can find you, apart from being top of the table.
Yeah, exactly. You can find me on here on every Arsenal show, as many as I can do. You'll find me in the Discord. If you join Discord, I'll get Tereak to put the link in. And for the other guests on the panel, thank you for coming on to my show. I mean, Tereak's show. No, it's been a pleasure, man. It's been really entertaining and great to talk to other football fans and get their perspective on our club and give our perspective on theirs. And it's been like really interesting. And let's hope we can do this again on a regular.
Exactly that. And guys, really appreciate you all. You know where to find me because you're on here already. But if you don't know where to find me on the socials, just type in Tereak and you'll find, because no one else has a spelling like that. Thanks, Mom. So yeah, it's unique in its own way. So if you type my name in like that, you'll be able to.
There'll be two now because I'm adding another alias to my aliases.
There you go. He's gonna create the Tereak burner account. So if you start seeing madness going on, it's not me. As Shaggy said, it wasn't me. Anyway, but big up to each and every one of you. Don't forget to like, subscribe. We will have another call-in show coming up. Stay tuned on the socials for that reason. I need to get started on TikTok as well. And Paxton has done a big favor as well. If you're not already in the Discord, get in the Discord server as well. We'll be more active on there. We haven't been
Paxton is a bad man. Paxton is a legend, man.
He is, man. He's a TTF OG member. Do you know what I mean? So Paxton, really appreciate that. So get joining in as well. If you want to talk football, talk Arsenal as well. It's great. It's great conversation. Wilf's always in there. Pax is always in there. We used to do quizzes in there as well. And we need to get it up and running now. We definitely do back again. So yeah, people, love to you all. I'm going to love and leave you. Enjoy the rest of your night. As you know, Arsenal are top of the league. Say we are top of the league.
Absolutely.